the machine, when the high standard comes through, we want it to plateau at like 80%.
At least 80%.
At 80%, yeah.
What happens if that reaches more than 100% of the detection limits?
So that's why you have that's why we have 3 spikes at the same. So here it comes. So if you remember, so these blocks are 30 seconds apart, and remember we were sampling for 48 seconds. So you want to set your base or set gain before it finishes its spike. But yeah, so at 54, 64, 72, 79, 86, I'm setting gain when it hits 86.
86, you click setting gain.
Yep, but it looks like we're gonna shoot, not. So that's, and so I set gain, so now it's gonna kind of recalibrate itself, and the next, so that should be, our maximum is like 94%, which is kind of high, but I think within the realm of acceptable.
But it never should go over 100.
Right, and sometimes for, I don't know if it's like bad digestion solution or something like that, but sometimes you'll get your high spike plateauing at like 50%,
and that's pretty bad.
And that's pretty bad. So you can kind of fake it by manually increasing the gain. Like you can put it in a higher value manually.
Oh, okay.
So this one, I think I'm gonna.
Oh, it's
again,
coming
so
it's coming again.
Yeah, so it's coming again. So I'm just getting ready in case I have to set it. But usually after you set it the first time, you don't have to touch it again. But because I want to try to get that high spike a little bit lower. So I set gain again. Like, so we started off at 124 gain, and now we're down at 97 gain. So we're just like telling the machine, like, no, but the signal's a little too strong. Like, dial it back. Like, you don't need that much assistance from the software to increase the signal noise. Or increase the signal. So it set gain. Same thing with bass. Like, you set bass, set gain. Never undo set gain. Never undo set bass. It's always like an additive process. So now, usually I'll set gain on the first one, set gain on the second one if I have to, and the third one, I usually...
But how do you know when you need to set gain? I mean, like in this case, you wanted the lower signal, but in the first time I noticed that you set gain in 86 or something.
Yeah, so if like it's already in the 80s and it doesn't look like it's gonna plateau yet, you want to try to set gain to tell it, like, so if it's like shooting up really, really fast, you need to set gain so that you can tell it, okay, you're increasing the signal too much. Set gain so that it'll plateau at a lower percentage.
What happened there?
It's just, I think 97 is a little too low, so I'm gonna just manually increase it to 100 and let it go from there.
So those are the 3 spikes? Are
those
you
are the 3
expecting more?
spikes. No, because we only put 3 through.
After that you can change the set gain, I mean...
Yep.
With no problem, we're not expecting anything else, but you can...
Right. Yeah.
So that's like a guidance points to see the 3 spikes. You can tell.
Yep.
I need this gain.
Right.
Or I don't need that high or that low
high
or whatever.
Gain. Yeah. So it's usually 30 seconds. So it started there. 30 seconds, 48 seconds. So that's like the whole. Started there, 48 seconds. Wash, 48 seconds. So as long as you set gain like in that, like at the 30-second mark, that's like a good.
Every
point.
30 seconds is like that's like a minute actually.
This is, yeah, it's, well, yeah.
Oh, no, the minute the whole pike, yeah, sure. I mean, it's 30 seconds between the spikes.
Right.
Rising and
then
lowering another 30 seconds, the whole stuff, yeah.
So, phosphorus is going to be really consistent. 3, like, usually phosphorus is really easy.
But no nitrogen.
You have to set it the first time, and the second 2 spikes come back exactly the same. The thing you're looking for is pretty consistent peaks throughout the 3 of them. So this one's a little bit lower. on the third one, but
But
you know,
you-
we're still above 80%.
But you can do it. So yeah,
So you can
because
do
it's
it.
over
Yep.
80.
And
So
then-
below 80, then you cannot go for it.
I would send another.
You would stop.
I would send another spike through, like another like two, either one or probably at least two more spikes. So, say yeah,
But how do you can send more spikes?
just like we did. You go to the XY sampler and just do the timing again.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
yep, if you have to do more, just come back and then just do it again. But just yeah.
Okay. Got it.
So after the spikes come through and you're pretty confident that
we can
your
do
gain
it.
is set,
Uh-huh.
you just wait for a baseline to come back to normal, which it is. I'm just gonna set base one more time,
One last time.
one last time,
Perfect.
and then I'm gonna hit run on the software. Find my run that I set up.
The one that we prepared last time.
And make sure you grab the right one because I did a TP last week. So here's TN for the same dates. Put in your initials for your operator and click OK. And then you're going to see this saying waiting for stable baseline. So I wouldn't walk away from the machine right now until it tells you that baseline was found.
Do we need to refill the cup 910, 91 now?
Not now.
Not
No,
now,
no, no. In like probably a half an hour or so, once it runs through once it samples the calibration cup, and like the run has started, like it's starting to actually sample the sample cups in the tray, then you can go back and like sneak in and grab the 910 cup and fill it.
Okay.
And so then it should be full for the rest of then it'll be good for the rest of the run unless you're
Because the
doing
rest of the run is good. Okay.
Yep. So you're waiting for stable baseline. This should find it in a minute or two. On some channels, like you have a really noisy baseline, so there it goes. There was that button right there that allows you to force baseline. So if you want to just trick the software and say, yes, just do the run. I don't want you to wait for a stable baseline. You can force it. Sometimes alkalinity is a really, really finicky channel that just takes forever to stabilize. And almost always you have to force the baseline because it doesn't.
In alkalinity, you can do that with confidence.
Because you'll have your other you'll have your four windows up, and you'll watch it. It'll say baseline found, baseline found, baseline found. And alkalinity is the only one where it's not finding baseline, so it won't start the run until it finds baseline for all of them.
Yeah,
so I'll just force baseline in that one just to start the run.
To take forever.
Exactly. Right. So now once baseline's found, it's starting. The run is starting. And technically now is when you can walk away. I would just there's a few more things. So you can walk away now, but especially with the way nitrogen has been this year. So technically it started the run once baseline's found, but it's sampling the 910 cup, it serves as the primer and also the drift cup. So if the run if like the baseline is noisy or something isn't going right, it might find baseline but not recognize the primer. So if that's the case, you pretty much need to start the run over. You just like hit stop and try to diagnose it, because it'll keep running, it'll keep sampling everything, but if it doesn't recognize the primer, then it's not recording any of the results. So
not doing anything.
Not doing anything. You can come back, you can find baseline, walk away, come back an hour later, and it's like halfway done with the tray, but it didn't recognize the primer, so it was like it didn't,
And baseline is always that cup 9 or 10.
The 0 cup. So it's when I hit run and I was waiting to find stable baseline, it was sampling out of this,
which is the 0.
It's 0, and then it found baseline, and then it went over to sample 910, which is the drift primer.
So you will know that everything is good if you see that the first sample is on the 0 cup, and then move into the 910.
Yeah, so at least it found baseline. It's going to take a few minutes. It'll take a few minutes for it to sample the 910 cup and then get through the machine, and then it'll say where it says baseline found, it'll say primer found, or it'll say primer not recognized. If it says primer not recognized,
Oh, just stop
you
immediately.
need to stop
And just stop it running with the red button?
No. You hit stop on here. Hit stop on there, and then hit charting again, so that it's stopping the run, and then it kind of like closes the window. So you hit charting again to bring it back up, and then and then you can go about trying to diagnose the problem. Like maybe it was a bad standard or something. And then you can mess around with it. You can like try to put in more 300. Try to run spike timing again and see if like you can figure it out if it is just your high standard that isn't right. But usually, if primer isn't recognized, it might mean that something went wrong in your digestion process, which means everything you pipetted just has to go in the
for
garbage.
nothing. Yeah, exactly.
So, but I feel pretty confident. This is looking really good. So the run might be a crap run, but we'll at least be able to record results because I think it should recognize primer. And
so we're expecting to see primer found.
Yep. And like I said, that'll be another like 5 or 10 minutes down the road. And then once it recognizes primer, it'll sample the rest of the calibration cups, and then where it says baseline found, it'll tell you what your calibration coefficient is for the day, which is like just a linear regression.
It's a calculation there.
Yeah, so usually if we see anything above 96%, we're really happy, right? 0.96. If it's below that, something your calibrations just weren't.
So you cannot walk away until you see the primer found, right?
I mean, I won't I'll go do something in the intervening 10 minutes, but I won't like leave the building, like go to class or something.
Exactly.
But